Friday the 7th of December 2018. As you can see, the reason I've put this up is because there are numerous false flags going on at the moment, particularly to do with Europe. But let's get on with what it says. Never forget, August 2nd, 1964, the US government reports that North Vietnamese torpedo boats launched an unprovoked attack against the USS Maddox while on routine patrol in the Tonkin Gulf, causing the US to enter the war in Vietnam. But it never happened. The government created the lie to gain public support to enter the war. Just like World War I, just like World War II and Vietnam. That's with America, but you cannot trust any government. They are in it for themselves all the time. Now this evil bitch, Tory MP for Devizes, Claire Perry, voted to cut ESA disability benefit by £30 a week and to cut tax credit for 800,000 people. Here she is, happy and smiling, as she's celebrating the opening of a food bank for the people she's helped impoverish. When will enough be enough? When will we lock these bastards up? Now, talking about false flags. Brexit. Leave very likely won EU referendum due to illegal overspending, says Oxford professors, evidence to High Court. That is a lie. That is bullshit. Most don't even know about the overspending and that, if there was ever any overspending. But this is all to make you think, oh, maybe we should stay in the EU. And we'll get more of this bullshit later. It is very likely that the UK voted for Brexit because of illegal overspending by the Vote Leave campaign, according to an Oxford professor, evidence to the High Court. An extensive analysis of the campaign's digital strategy concluded its research tens of millions of people in its last crucial days after its spending limit had been breached, enough to change the outcome. Absolute bullshit. That's another false flag by a corrupt media. And I like this bit. It's very telling that the people who don't vaccinate do lots of research on vaccines. People who vaccinate don't do any research. Because if they did, they wouldn't be sticking the poison in themselves. US aid to Israel is illegal. The untold billions of dollars of aid provided to Israel by America since 1976 has been illegal in terms of the US's own law, which forbids aid to any nuclear-armed nation which is not a signatory to the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, NPF. Section 101 and 102 of the US's Arms Export Control Act of 1976, AECA, contains specific provisions, and Israel has refused to sign the NPF despite being in possession of around 400 nuclear weapons. Those psychopaths have nukes. I've been far more scared of these psychos than Saddam Hussein. The conclusion is therefore inescapable. American aid to Israel is illegal, and every US administration since 76 has openly broken the law because of the Jewish lobby control over the politicians. Except where they've used the word Jewish, it's Zionists. North of England continues to see bigger cuts in public spending, report finds. Government spending in North fell 6.3 billion while rising by 3.2 billion in South, think tank says. It's more divide and conquer, but they seem to be getting away with it, and I'm getting a bit tired of talking about it because no one seems to pay any attention. The use of child protective services and court orders to enforce medical compliance in the labour and delivery room. How threats of legal action limit reproductive choice. We live in a dictatorship. The West is a dictatorship. You know, why? So you're pregnant? Well, you've got to have this. You've got to have that. Vaccines. You know, you've got to make sure you're poisoned. study shows nearly half of CBD users are able to stop taking pharmaceuticals, and this is the big reason why cannabis has been made illegal, so that the pharmaceutical scum can rip us all off and poison us. Because when you start taking this, it levels your blood pressure out, it reverses arthritis, it destroys cancer, the benefits of it are just immense, and you suddenly find you don't need to take your pharmaceutical poison anymore. And that's the real reason behind why it's been illegal, because we've been run by a corrupt government forever, for my lifetime at least, and for a lot many more. The largest study to date regarding cannabinoidal CBD and has shown that many patients are finding such great relief from their ailments using CBD that they are able to give up pharmaceutical poison entirely. The research was conducted by Bridgefield Group and HelloMD.it, covered 2,400 of HelloMD's community. The pool consisted of 55% women. Statistically speaking, the results showed that men preferred THC dominant products over CBD, and I can't imagine why. Oh yeah, I can. Hot and cold. Thames Water blames problem leaks on the weather. Regulator finds dent profits as utility says cold snap and heat wave hampered repairs. And it's nothing to do whatsoever with the fact that they are stealing and robbing us all and then giving the profits to the shareholders rather than investing in the infrastructure, because it's a private corporation that run for profit only. I say it so often, you know it. Thames Water has warned that the summer heat wave and the beast from the east could spell that last winter's delayed its progress on fixing leaks, as it reported a slump in half-year profits due to regulatory penalties. Britain's biggest water company leakage performance actually worsened, with 683 million litres of a day lost in the 6 months to 30 September compared with 665 million in the same period for 2017. Thames Water said profits before tax plunged to only 67.7 million from 218.5 million a year earlier. These are profits. Now, if they took half of them profits and put them into repairing and making sure that the pipes didn't leak in the first place, there wouldn't be any leaks. But of course that has to go to the shareholders, because, as we know, this system sucks. More disgraceful behaviour by the DWP. Forces carer to sell home or face jail to repay benefits. A carer is being forced to sell his home or face jail because he wrongly received benefits that cost the taxpayer less than £110. George Henderson, 59, from Leyland in Lancashire, looks after his 37-year-old son John, who has mental health problems and is addicted to heroin. George has cared for his son all of his life without payment. The system is working perfectly to depopulate the planet. Ministers criticised after plans for council tax rise to fund police force us to benefit from 450. I've heard so many different amounts here, but Labour say the poorest will be hit by bills. Of course they will. That's the plan. They always go after the poor because the rich don't pay. Ministers have been accused of a financial sleight of the hand over plans to allow a council tax increase to pay for extra police funding in a move Labour said would hit the poorest hardest without providing enough extra funding. Now, let's not forget here, the police are a corporation, a for-profit corporation. We should not be paying anything towards a corporation that does nothing but back corporations, i.e. gas, electric, bailiffs, banks. We can do without that type of police. They should be gone. Bill and Hillary Clinton could go far away for good very soon. According to the Daily Wire, tickets to see them live and hear them blab about their lives are selling for the cost of a Big Mac, meal at McDonald's. That's not all either. The Wire further reported that New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd is finally sick of the two elitist politicians as well. Could Bill and Hillary Clinton be going away for good? Guantanamo away, hopefully. Central bank warning on the global economy are getting louder. The reason to stay awake at night are multiplying. Let's hope the time we have priced the risks correctly. You don't need to stay awake because the financial system's going to crash. Hey, it's not like you've got loads of money and it's going to make a difference to you. Now these elite parasite scum, yeah, they should be worried, but of course, money isn't real. It's just a control system. When I took over responsibility for banking supervision in the United Kingdom in '95, a wise old bird in the Bank of England warned me that I would find it a thankless task. No newspaper ever prints a headline reading, "All London banks safe and sound this week, but if problem occurs, it's almost inevitably your fault." Well, it is. Aggressive debt collectors raise risk of suicide. Research showing level of risk to people heavily in debt leads to calls for change in law. Case study: the council was more aggressive than the payday lenders. Yeah, because they think they're a frigging law unto themselves. You owe them money, they'll do anything they can. They'll kick your face in, they'll send bullies round, bailiffs round, you name it, because the councils are the lowest scum on this planet. More than 100,000 people a year in England who are mired in heavy debt try to end their lives, new research has revealed. Intimidating and threatening letters sent by debt collectors, bailiffs and councils raise the risk of suicide by adding to people's feelings of despair. The study found the findings have prompted calls for mental health experts for an urgent overhaul of the tactics banks, utility companies, credit card companies, councils and others use to pursue people struggling to repay the money they allegedly owe, because of course they don't owe anything. But you notice there, councils are the worst. So what do we need? We need rid of councils. Hardline Remainers launch all-out assault on No Deal Brexit. The most pro-Remain, pro-EU ministers in government, treasonous traitors, are now doing absolutely everything they can to stop a no-deal Brexit. Proper independence and full autonomy for the UK isn't popular among those who want to keep the country sucked into the EU dictatorship indefinitely. This morning we had the Business Secretary Greg Clark describe No Deal as crazy. The project fear Remain mentality is what Brussels have run roughshod in the negotiation. They knew Theresa May wouldn't walk, and so the government are left attempting to flog a bad deal that has little support from anyone. They're all a bunch of treasonous traitors to us all, and the sooner they're in jail, the better. Poll offers shocking revelation on why parents record child protection meetings. After this site revealed that law firms and councils have been coercing parents into signing illegal documents, forcing them to give up their right to record child welfare meetings, a new poll asks parents why they choose to record offers a shocking revelation. The poll created on Facebook yesterday asked parents who were going through the family courts, more treason, whether they had recorded a communication during the case, and if they had, what was the reason for making the recording. The poll initially offered the following 5 responses. The professionals seem to have an agenda. They all have. Bonuses to steal your children. I wanted to be able to read, listen, see it again at my own pace. The professional had made errors in past reports communications. The professional was breaking the law. Others, please add your comment below. Facebook allows posters to add more options to its polls. A parent added the following 6 options to the poll, which went to receive the most engagement. Social workers were lying about what was said to fit into definitions for taking children. It was deliberate. Social workers are scum. Utter. Tory MPs each claimed 35 times the income that would disqualify a child from free school meals in expenses. Champagne Conservative. Tories love their champers. They just hate the people whose taxes buy it for them. If you've just had a meal, this may be enough to make you throw it back up. Conservative MPs voted to strip 1 million school pupils of their free school meals in their parents' even more than $7,400 a year in a Commons vote earlier this week. It turns out the same Conservative scum MPs claim nearly 35 times as much in expenses every year, and some claim a hell of a lot more. But, you know, you can't afford school meals? Well, tough. Whereas these scumbags are living it up on caviar and Bollinger. Hillsborough match commander David Duckenfield will face trial for manslaughter after application to halt his prosecution is rejected. Hillsborough match commander David Duckenfield faces trial for manslaughter. Application to stay the prosecution was dismissed by Judge Sir Peter Openshaw. He faces 95 charges of gross negligence manslaughter after the crush in 1989. And let's not forget, this piece of shit is a Freemason. The former South Yorkshire Police Chief Superintendent is charged with the manslaughter by gross negligence of 95 Liverpool fans who died in a disaster at the FA semi-final on April 15, 1989. Ben Myers, QC defending Duckfield, made an application to stay the prosecution at Preston Crown Court on Thursday, but it was refused by Judge Sir Peter Openshaw. He'll walk because they're all in it together, but it does look like even the scum Freemasons are starting to face the actual truth now and realise that they are nothing more than scum. French MPs to launch no confidence votes against unpopular Macron. While here in the UK, British MPs are set to launch no confidence votes against unpopular May. Their system's crashing around them, but just no confidence isn't good enough. They need to be in jail because they have committed crimes against humanity. Macron, May, Merkel, you name it, they're all a bunch of low-life scum. Latvia rejects UN Migration Pact and deals another blow to pro-migration forces, while May's about to sign it. On 6th of December, the Latvian Parliament has voted to reject the signing of the United Nations Global Compact for Migration. The debate was lengthy, but the Parliament, having been given autonomy over the decision in the Cabinet, voted 43 to 31 to reject the signing of the compact, while here in the UK, the treasonous bitch will be signing it. See why she's got to go to jail? Yellow Vest movement spreads further in Europe and announces protests in Amsterdam. The whole of the planet has had enough of this Western dictatorship that we can now see. So it's time to stand up. The Yellow Vest movement continues to spread across Europe. Originally from France, there were protests in Belgium and the Netherlands and even Germany. After protests in The Hague and Nijmegen last week, the Dutch protests will now be organised in Amsterdam, newspaper Het Proof reports. Whilst here in England, they're still watching Coronation Street. How sad is that? Open drug dealing in Swedish cities as police allow it. It's risk-free. We lack resources. You see, it's not just a Britain thing with the police being on the front. It's happening all over Europe because they want the chaos, so they can bring in their new world order out of the chaos. There it is in Sweden. It's happening everywhere, unless we stand up and take this planet back. Dozens of motorist convictions quashed and thousands of cases re-examined in forensic scandal. 41 motorists have had their criminal convictions quashed after alleged tampering with evidence by scientists in the biggest forensic scandal for decades. A further 50 accused of drug driving, but who had yet to come to court, have also had their cases dropped after an investigation into the data showed that they were just a bunch of corrupt bastards out to screw the motorists further. The Times. Millions of patients face 3-week wait for GP. Pressure on surgeries revealed by NHS figures. Stop going to these places, these drug dealing places. Use natural remedies because they don't have the side effects. You don't have to wait and they're good for you. Cambridge Dons revolt over racist fellow's role. Odd budget fears. ATM gangs get 47 million. Warning to May. Tax officers targeted. Shears take a dive. Backing for tackle. The Guardian. NHS chief and number 10 battle over 20 billion health pledge. Everyone knows the extra money is barely enough to maintain current standards. But hey ho. You know. We MPs don't give a shit because we're all got booper. You peasants can just, die. Oh, and by the way, we're going to cut some more money off you. Corbyn rejects PM's Brexit deal and back my plan. Markets dive on fears of US-Chinese trade war. And then more bullshit. Bias in Britain, we've worked twice as hard. Piss off. Unindependent. Why business is backing the PM? Don't talk shit. We can't face the truth about rate. Are you all there? The constitutional problem for Britain. We're run by treasonous traitors. That's the problem. China's US trade war threatens us all, apparently. The men reclaiming their HIV diagnosis. Celebrate the anniversary of testing positive. The Bob Beck device, which cures cancer, was originally invented because it cures AIDS. So if you've got AIDS, get the Bob Beck device. Or there are more than one way to cure it. Cannabis oil also cures AIDS. Now you know another reason why it's been illegal for so long. Not unlawful, but illegal. And if you don't know the difference, illegal is when a statute or act says you can't do it. Whereas unlawful means it is again, it's hurting. There's someone that's hurt from your acts. So it's always lawful, and the illegal stuff, statutes and acts, can piss off. Just 2 constituencies back May's Brexit deal, and 600 out of the 650 want to remain in the EU. Poll finds. Oh, it's another one of them polls that they just make up. Yeah, we'll make up. We've asked so many people whether they want to remain, and we'll just make it's yes. 17.4 million voted to leave. More than that didn't vote because they're clever enough not to go on the voters' register because they realise that that's you being a slave and signing up to be a slave, and apparently having a vote, because we all know voting doesn't make a blind bit of difference, because if it did, we wouldn't be allowed to vote. Express. Holly takes a swipe at Anne. TV. May, I won't delay Brexit vote. Yes, because it's all planned. Look who's cozying up to the rich. Socialist Corbyn goes begging for donations from city fat cats. Donations for what? Star. It's Ant and Glum. So, TV. One pin killed Fox's boss. Yeah, I heard it was a police drone. Snowflake kids get lesson in chilling. Head helps 9-year-olds to beat the daily grind. Danny Jackson it in. Well, actually, it's better than normal. There's only one thing about TV. But it's still a shit paper, and if anyone buys that, you need your head examining. Mirror. I'm a celebrity. Brit Nazi threat to kill Harry over Meg. Absolute fake news. 4 out of 5 accused of killing Stephen Lawrence now in jail. At last, where they belong. That was another cover-up by the police, of course. Daily fail. Can you really stay best friends after divorcing? Yeah, no. Britain's second biggest network crashes with millions unable to access internet or even make phone calls on day of chaos. Mobile phones mayhem for 30 million. Now this has cost millions and millions, if not billions of pounds. Because, you know, like if you're on a market or something like that, and someone comes to pay, you swipe it, and you use your phone to connect and do all that sort of thing. So what compensation are they going to give? None. Guarantee. First she got the crown, now Olivia's in line for a globe. Oof. More bullshit. The tell-lie graph. What now, Prime Monster? Cabinet ministers demand action to rescue Brexit vote. May given 4 options to prevent crushing defeat. Half of burglaries on occupied homes are as thieves grow bolder. O2 blackout hits mobile phone users, buses and smart meters. Another reason not to have a smart meter, apart from the fact that it'll kill you because it emits radiation, and they can just turn you off like that. You know, suddenly decide, oh, we're using too much electricity. Turn everyone off. Aye. 56 billion wiped off FTSE 100 after shock arrest of highway exec. Back down or else, Tory MPs tell May. Cabinet monsters urge the PM to consider pulling Tuesday Brexit vote and prevent devastating defeat. Defence Secretary, Work and Pension Secretary, Home Secretary all urge her not to bring down government. Downing Street insists showdown with Commons will go ahead despite Chief Whip acknowledging uphill battle. They want to put me in a care home. I'm 31. J.K. Rowland's husband accuses a former PA. What Labour should do next to win power? They don't have to do anything. They've already arranged it. May's going to get a vote of no confidence. General election. Corbyn comes in. Another referendum. They fix it to Remain. It's so obvious. So obvious. Customers' fury after day-long data shutdown. And that's right. Metro. Police probe shoot Harry neo-Nazi trio. Terror arrest after Prince is branded a race traitor for marrying Meghan. Total and utter lies, fake news, bollocks. Aguila's got a little of what a girl wants. Why the lesser helicopter crashed? Hugh Grant leads Brit charge at the Globes. FT. Hawaii executive arrest sparks major turmoil and Beijing fury. Founder daughter held, US confrontation widens, biggest FTSE loss since Brexit vote. Traders shy away from impossible pound as costs of uncertainty soars.
Dennis Healy. World events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings.